Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. Dated Wednesday, 29 August 2012. Scientology, the Apollo series. What are your crimes, Scientology? So I'm going to click on it and let's see what's going on here.
A couple of months ago, a federal judge in...
Okay, that is one I'm going to cover later. Sunday, 29 August 2012. Scientology is nuts. And so are all Scientologists. Blog closed. Uploaded by John Alex Wood. It's funny. On 9 November 2011. It's funny. Oh, this must be the highest profile occasion ever to take place in the center of East Grinstead. It was crazy. So I'm guessing maybe this guy's a Scientologist? He got roped in? Because you know they love to get the celebrities with the money. I hope he got the F out of there. Okay, you Brits know the neighborhood a little more than I do. Boy, just get to the point here. Hold on, you guys. Okay, so once I put the link in the description, you guys are going to have all these links. But of course, add child endangerment catches my eye. And you guys all know I'm not a Marty Rathburn fan. That's pretty obvious. I do not ordinarily post a link to Marty Rathburn's blog. And I do so only now because I could not believe the comment by Marty. You know why? Because they give themselves away. Eventually they do. About Hannah Eltringham and Nibs. See, that tells you a lot right there. And the rumor that I've heard is that Marty Rathburn was one of those people keep Scientology working. So how would you trust people to disintegrate or destruct a cult when they're still following the precepts and the policies that emulate and require the highest level, most heinous level of child abuse, child neglect, child trafficking, child endangerment, systemic aggravated child abuse. Can't trust people like that. The comment by Marty about Hannah Eltringham and Nibs. Actually, I can believe his comment only too well. If he was to say anything other than that, he might lose his following of independents. See, it's what I was saying. And his income from auditing. Can you imagine this? Marty Rathburn at this point was still auditing people. But yeah, he's going after the cult, right. There is a lot of money to be had from donations in Scientology for services rendered, and he should know because he helped to keep Scientology working for so many years. As if like he ever left, right? Let's see what it says. Are you guys' barf bags ready? Let's see if I'm going to snap out today. Moving on up a little higher. You guys know these are the opinions of Marty Rathburn. I do not endorse or support Marty Rathburn's claims or opinions. Mark Rathburn's place. Add child endangerment to the list of Miscavige crimes. Because you know, Miscavige is the only one doing it, right? I'm probably not going to want to read a lot of this. Ben Herndon, contracting out of a Prowler Investigations of Corpus Christi, 5910, Alameda Street, to be precise, is David Miscavige's latest South Texas thug for hire. After much international publicity through 2011 and into 2012 concerning Miscavige's Scientology Inc. thuggery at my home, because he's not familiar with that at all. No Scientology operatives dare rear their ugly heads in our vicinity. Well, I'm going to scan this because today I just can't do it. That really wasn't even worth my time. I don't know exactly what this person is referring to. Whilst child endangerment is unacceptable from any human being, strangely enough, that also includes L. Ron Hubbard. From my viewpoint, it matters not that he is dead and long gone. You guys can go read it. I just don't want to get into it. I don't know exactly what he said. Scientologists still to this day use methods of practice. This is what I've been saying. On young children that are tantamount to child abuse. And they do so because they follow Hubbard's scriptures. They're not scriptures. Let's just get that straight. Go read Jenna Miscavige's book, how she explains how Rathburn went to go handle her when she was trying to leave Scientology. And it's a cleansed version, but another harrowing escape. Many thanks to Aussie Case. I'm an ex-Scientologist. I've been posting on Tony's blog for about a month, and I've also posted here a couple of times. You guys know what I think. I pose the personal abuses on staff, children, public, ex-Scientologists, and independent indie Scientologists. Yeah, because it's in the policies. Wake up! Wake up! That I have seen and read about in corporate Scientology. Marty is the current target of this madness. Oh boy, here we go. One issue in corporate Scientology is neglect of children. In the late 1980s, I joined Class 4 org staff as a young man, and I went to Clearwater as an outer org trainee. There I audited several young CMO and Sea Org members. It was something I was called on to do fairly regularly. I suspected this was because we were fairly close in age. Indies may call this increased reality. Frankly, I enjoy meeting these young people. The stories I heard from these children struck me as real and current problems in Scientology. Yeah, going on in real time right now, as we speak. As a middle-class young man of university age, the neglect was very far from what I had previously experienced. These children saw a lot. Adults may have been too busy to pay attention to them. Yeah, because they're too busy dropping their children off at the Sea Org or the Celebrity Center, But the children paid attention to what was going on. As I sat behind an e-meter, these young Scientologists gave me a tour of Clearwater that most miss. It is the neglect of the young which strikes a chord with me today. There is a post on this blog by Scientologist X, a privileged young Scientologist, who describes the neglect the writer's young eyes have witnessed again. I point out that adults may miss what this young person does not. I highly recommend reading that post, even if you stop reading what I am writing. Where I and the Indies disagree. Well, I disagree with all of this shit. I do not see Ron in favorable light. From what I can tell, what you dislike in Scientology now existed before Miscavige grabbed the reins. Hello? Hello, everybody. Wakey, wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey. Hannah Whitfield, former D. Commodore U.S., Clear number 60, and Avon River Captain spoke in Hamburg a few years ago. Go check her out, where she discussed Hubbard's brutality. She also discusses the awe with which she saw Hubbard. Well, that's complete discredit to me. You think you see Hubbard with awe? In her voyage on the yacht, Enchanter, I highly recommend it to Indies. There are multiple sides to Hubbard. It's what a narcissist is. Sharon Stainforth was a 10-year-old messenger on board the Royal Scotsman. How many times have we heard this name of this boat? Ship, whatever it is. How many essays have we heard of children on the Royal Scotsman? Huh? Child rape anyone? Yeah. They into it over there. And she told her story at a Dublin Offlines conference this year. If you are interested, you can find 5 stories on the internet. Rhonda Wolf, who had been photoshopped out of that's funny, out of recent Clearing Congress videos, even claimed he was beating people up for his father in the 1950s. As a side topic with regards to Miscavige, Hannah gave an affidavit in 1994 where she discusses her conversations with Florence Barnett, Shelley Barnett's mother, prior to Flo's dramatic bluicide. Hannah mentions how Miscavige had to avoid being seen as PTS as he was involved in Scientology. Isn't that funny how they can clean all that up so easily? Yeah. Tony Ortega recently interviewed the Los Angeles sheriffs, that must have been on Los Angeles, who investigated the death. Oh, which sheriff would that be, you guys? Don't you really wonder on that one? Huh. You got to read between the lines. The sheriff discussed how he became convinced the death from multiple gunshots was in fact a suicide. They sure don't get to the point on this one, do they? Marty's reply. Marty Rathborn, 09, August 21st, 2012. DeWolf and Hannah made their claims in pursuit of fortunes. Oh, wait a minute, you guys. Doesn't that sound exactly like how Mike Rinder talked about everyone was going for a money grab? Yet, Mike Rinder's making all kinds of money off that Aftermath show. So ought to be read, if at all, with that fact in mind. I mean, I don't know. I didn't research into how much Rinder made on that, but what I'm saying, I'm just comparing. Marty Rathburn talks about that she was trying to make a fortune, and so was DeWolf. DeWolf is a grandson, by the way. Yeah. Can you guys see that? Go watch them. Do you look at them and see fortune? Come on. Although I really do like DeWolf's a fedora hat. Theta Potato then says, I agree with you about DeWolf. He comes across as someone who would... Oh, this is Rathburn, I think. No, this is not Rathburn. This is somebody else. I don't agree with this, what they're saying at all. I want you guys to know. It's not my opinions. I agree with you about DeWolf. He comes across as someone who would sell out his grandmother. You see how they try to cover up the child abuse? They work hard at it, you guys. It's sickening because these children were so badly abused, and all that happens is they continue to get abused more and more and more. But I have to disagree about Hannah Whitfield. I met her in 1985 during the earlier independent movement. Oh, was she into the independent too? Well, if she's into the independent, you're discredited with me. I mean, she did bring out some good abuses, though. Go watch her stuff. She had incredible stories from her experience working with LRH and being the captain of the Avon River. There's another boat/ship. Shipping list, anyone? She came across as sincere. Yeah, that's what I felt like, too. And having a lot of integrity. Yeah, go watch how she talks about all the babies that died in the daycare. Yeah. Yeah, the ones nobody talks about. Stories from her experiences working with LRH. She seemed to honestly just be connected to LRH during a time when he was exploring his new powers as the Commodore, yeah, true narcissistic supply, of the newly founded SO, and perhaps was an experimental stage of using some fairly dark methods to get the job done. I looked on Amazon. She hasn't authored any books. She does seem to be connected to a video called Scientology, The X-Files. I doubt that she's made a fortune from that. Check. If she really embellished something about LRH, I'd be really interested in knowing what that was. Anybody going after Eltringham means they were there during that time with LRH and they're hiding something. Facts. Windhorse Gallery, whom I presume to be Mike Rinder's wife, says, ex-Scientologist Hannah was, while in the Sea Org, a cold fish. Really? Really now? Do tell. You guys don't want the dead baby stories coming out? Huh. Self-serving and highly arrogant. Yeah, it's probably Rinder's ex-wife. I didn't know her well, but she never seemed to go out of her way to foster friendship. Yeah, because she was smart. Her ex-husband, Guy, on the other hand, was highly trained and very kind. Oh, you mean Guy was highly trained, so that means Guy was really into child abuse. Facts. Ron Hubbard Jr. was rude, arrogant, and disrespectful. Well, that I can believe. I went and I watched his interview with, I think it was Playboy interviewed him, and I could definitely see that. So I would say in that respect, I could see that happening. But he did impart a lot of truth. The early tapes, you can hear him disrupt the lectures, but also too, let's not to defend his rudeness. He was a young child, heinously abused more than likely by his father, LRH. So, you know. Disrupt the lectures, make snide remarks about his dad, would always just kindly say, oh well, let's just move on. He was in between a rock and a hard place. You are free to believe whatever you wish. Are we though? After you just berated and talk bad about people? I read Tony Ortega's site daily, mainly for his articles, which are often quite good. I'm not saying a word. The comments, by and large, seem to be the rantings of the uninformed or highly self-serving ex-Scientologist. Who does this sound like, you guys? To make a name for themselves by name-dropping a few celebs they once knew. Oh, who does that sound like? Lily. Seriously, you run the risk of finding yourself on the far right rather than just contemplating what might be workable and what is not workable for you. This is making me want to puke. Hold on. Okay, I had to fast forward. That was just about enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and then I'm going to make another one regarding the supervised destruction of records in Lisa McPherson death. Rest in peace, Lisa McPherson. Link in the description box. Like and subscribe. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.